established rich coming right back at you. Sometimes what destroys a moment ain't what you said. It's how you respond after you say it. We got LaRussell coming off a viral moment that turned into a controversy. And instead of that moment being controlled, he let the moment control him. This all started with one song, one phrase, heaven sent. And the way he used that word changed everything.
I made this record and I sent it off to my engineer and he calls me. He said, man, you probably shouldn't put this out. I said, why? What the hell happened? He said, you know, you talking about Epstein, there's a lot of shit going on. And I said, thank you for calling me. I'm finna drop this. That's exactly why we need it. Because everybody sit and be silent. And the goal of an artist is to express the times and discuss, say all the things that nobody else want to say or know how to say. I'm not perfect. And neither is the president. Was guiltier than a nigga hiding evidence. You can't be mad that they heated if you don't let them vent. Even the devil was heaven sent. Even Malcolm was heaven sent. Even Martin was heaven sent. Even Kanye was heaven sent. We all heaven sent. Donald too. We all heaven sent. Epstein too. We all heaven sent. Adolf too. We all heaven sent.
Now you can understand why people reacted the way they did. Because words matter and context matters even more. He grouped together figures like Jeffrey Epstein and Adolf Hitler with figures like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And when you use a phrase like heaven sent, you're not just making a statement, you're making a claim. Now, he may have had a spiritual intention. He may have been saying that everybody comes from God in some form, but that's not what people heard. And that's where the problem started. Because heaven sent does not mean what he tried to make it mean. When somebody helps you when you're in need, that's heaven sent. When somebody saves you or blesses you, that's heaven sent. But somebody who caused pain, death, and trauma, that is not heaven sent in any normal understanding of the word. And that's why the people push back. Not because they didn't understand the music, but because they understand language. Now here's where the moment could have been saved. This was the perfect time to step up and say, I used the wrong word. I see how that sounds. I ain't mean it like that. That's all it would have taken. But that's not what he did.
Good morning, America. Hey, the past few days, I've been working, so I ain't got to really, be on social media. I cut my I schedule it, and I post, and I get into the world. The homies briefed me yesterday on all the outrage. And my first thought was, ain't that slow. But I go and look, and that's slow. Just listen to the music. Like, it's no way you hear that clip, and they like, you support Epstein. When the world be in despair, sometimes you need realization. And that realization for me through this song was like, damn, the same God who created Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, who did so many great things, is the same God that created Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, who did so many evil things. And it's crazy the range of what a human life is capable of. It's capable of changing the world and detrimenting the world. That's the purpose of the song. That's my realization of like, damn, this is all from the same place, and look which way it can go when somebody is misguided, when somebody doesn't have all the tools, when somebody just chooses to use their life in a negligent way. And it's insane for me to take that and be like, you support Epstein. Like, you niggas is weird. Like, if you want to know where I stand, go listen to my music. Go see what I do in my community. Go speak to somebody who actually know me. Be for real. It's so crazy how fast it go from black boy fly to get back in line. Y'all want to be constricted and restricted so bad. And I'm never not going to be free. I'm never not going to be free of my speech and free of my thought and free of my art. Artists and comedians is the niggas who's supposed to express the times and what's going on and communicate it in a way that's like, man, this is what came to me. Y'all love to create enemies and try to bash anybody who has an opposing thought to how you feel. I ain't got to show up how you want me to show up. This for me and my people and my base who resonate and connect. Everybody else can suck my...
Now you can hear the shift in his energy. This was not clarifying. This was defending. And not only defending, but dismissing the people who didn't agree. He called people slow. He implied they just couldn't get it. And this is where it went left. Because now it's not about the song no more. Now it's about how you see your audience. You can't build your brand on community and then talk down to that same community when they question you. And that's the reason the backlash got worse. Not because of the original line, but because of the response to it. Now, let's talk about what he did next. He decided to step away from social media. He said he was tired. He said he needed a break. And on the surface, that sounds understandable. Everybody needs a break sometime. But in this context, it feels different because this wasn't just random noise. This was accountability. This was people asking you to explain your words. And instead of standing on that moment, you stepped away from it. The pattern is clear. This ain't about reflection. This is about resistance. He does not want to come on that moment. He wants the moment to go away. And that's a problem because you can't build a platform on authenticity and then disappear when that authenticity gets challenged. It don't work like that. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture because this ain't just about him. This is a pattern we see over and over again. Artists love the media when they want attention. They love the praise, the support, the energy. But the second that energy turns, they want to disconnect. They want to get off the grid. They want privacy. They want to reflect. That type of shift is always interesting because you can't turn the light on and off when it's convenient. If you want the attention, you got to accept what comes with it. Now let's talk about one of the biggest examples of this. We've seen Kanye West do this multiple times. He has built his career on being loud, visible, and unfiltered. He wanted the attention. He thrived in it. But when that same attention turned into criticism, now it was leave me alone.
Yeah, please. It's my birthday on the last one.
Let him call. Let him call.
It's possible for Candidat.
We'll call you, yeah.
But my thing, y'all have photos all today.
Yeah.
At a certain point, we human beings, she in Paris, we want to chill. Can y'all give us a second to chill or not?
Yeah.
I can just go back up in the room. Matter of fact, I can just leave.
No, we love you. No.
You
understand,
Kanye?
We are not. We have a question. A question. I see.
He's gonna leave Paris. Period.
Why?
I want to bring my wife to get some crate. I'm gonna ask you no why.
Yeah, but I stop, Kanye. Okay, I stop.
Yeah, please.
Now it's the media is against me. Now it's stop following me. And that's a contradiction. You can't live in the spotlight and then get mad at the light. And that's the same energy I'm seeing here. This was a moment that could have built something. It could have showed some growth. But instead, it turned into a retreat. And that's what makes this disappointing. Not the mistake, but the missed opportunity. Because every artist is going to say something wrong at some point. Every artist is going to have a moment that don't land right. But what defines you is what you do next. And right now, this looks like somebody who is not ready for that level of accountability. Now, let's take this a step further because this ain't really about the song. This is about how you handle pressure when you get tested. What we just watched from LaRussell is a move from control to defense. And that change happens fast when you're not used to being challenged. See, when you build your brand on positivity and community, people expect a certain level of accountability from you. They expect you to stand in your words and explain them when they don't land right. But when that don't happen, the trust starts to crack. And that's what we're seeing here. This wasn't some misunderstanding. This was a moment where people wanted clarity and got resistance instead. Now, let's talk about the phrase again, heaven sent, because everything comes back to that. Words have weight. Words have meanings that exist before you use them. And you don't get to redefine a word after the damage is done. You have to respect what it means before you say it. And that's what he missed. He was trying to speak from a spiritual place, but he used a phrase that didn't match the message. And when people called it out, he doubled down instead of correcting it.
The heaven sent conversation. Do you regret anything that you've done with the song, the performance, from the beginning, not listening to your engineer?
Not at all.
The way that you responded?
Not at all.
The way that you've been handling it this whole time?
Not at all.
No regrets at all?
None.
Do you think you've said anything wrong?
No.
Is there somebody in your life that will hit you and call and like be like, "Hey, you tripping"?
The engineer.
Well, no, I'm talking about.
If I'm really tripping,
yeah. What did that person have to say about this?
These niggas stupid.
These niggas stupid.
Yep.
You got another person?
It's fake outrage. I can make whatever art comes to me. Anybody who makes music, at a level where you really rapping about something, not just bullshit, but rapping about life. And as an artist, it's our job to put art out into the world, however that may come. I don't have to change my art because it makes you uncomfortable.
Was there a time where throughout this process where you were like, maybe if I said it this way, they would understand what I'm saying? And then the second part to that question is, do you understand where other people are coming from?
No.
Okay.
Because
tell everything.
When I said Free Palestine, there was people who was offended. Am I supposed to apologize to them? When I made 20 shots and I talk about them niggas killing Stevante Clark and shooting him 20 times, it's people who's offended. I'm supposed to apologize. It's my art. If I maliciously meant to hurt you and it's like, damn, that was a miss on my end, like I could recognize when it is. Like with the Wayne shit, it was like, damn, I could see how that is.
I used to think like when I say stuff, I don't own none of the responsibility if I say something, my intention is not malicious. And then I had to learn like, oh, these is human beings. They have feelings and emotions and stuff like that. So I understand that when you add the biblical nuance to it, because now you impeding on their core values. Do you get that perspective or
no? Because I feel like that shit be fake.
I agree with
like
you.
Like all the niggas
sometimes.
I see talking, oh, these core values, and we don't believe this. It's like, bro, we see what your homies on. We see what your uncle's on. We see what your cousin's on. We see what's on your playlist.
Your caption said, my engineer told me not to put this out. That comes off as arrogant. And like you said, this is art, with all due respect. As a rapper, I don't think you did a well job of setting up the bar, if that makes sense. The first thing that people was going to is, oh shit, he said Epstein? And then you mix Epstein in the box with Malcolm X, Martin Luther King.
Martin,
and then you said, and even you, like, and Hitler, like, I'm like Hitler and Epstein. Now, I'm not a rapper either, but I am into like rap and battle rap. Fab said, never trust shit. Even the devil was an angel. Obviously, he not telling us that an angel and the devil is, it's the same person. So I think that if you delivered it in a different way and you set it up differently, then people would have been able to more so relate to it.
Yeah, and I feel that, but it's my art, and maybe somebody else could deliver it differently. Right? If you had a child that's heaven sent, correct? Was all them niggas not a child?
The children are heaven sent, but the monsters is the devil.
That has nothing to do with God. What you do after I place you here is within your free will. That's what you become. The world gets you.
Have you talked to your engineer about this?
That's
funny
like
as fuck.
Yeah, that nigga today. I want to shout him out.
Ray.
Hey, shout
out Ray.
Hey,
Ray
was heaven sent.
Shout out my engineer, but it's some other niggas engineers who really need to step up and say something. Y'all
don't listen.
Yeah, that's true.
You right.
The pattern is complete. This was not a man trying to connect. This was a man trying to defend his position at all costs. And that's where his ego comes into play. Because when ego steps in, accountability steps out. You stop listening. You stop reflecting. You start protecting yourself instead of improving yourself. And that always costs you more in the long run. Now, let's talk about the brand damage. Because whether he knows it or not, this moment has changed how people look at him. This was a brand built on humility, community, and positive energy. But this response did not match that brand. This response felt arrogant, it felt dismissive, and once people see that side of you, they can't unsee it. That don't mean his career's over, but it does mean he has to rebuild trust. And trust is harder to rebuild than it is to build the first time. Now let's get into the part that really matters. Why not just apologize? Why not just say you were wrong? Because that's what this moment needed. Not defense, not an explanation, just accountability. And that does not make you weak. That makes you real. People respect honesty more than they respect perfection. And when you avoid that, you create space between you and your audience. And that distance is what we're seeing now. This situation is a lesson for every artist and every creator watching. You can't just accept the love and reject the criticism. You can't just show up when people are cheering for you and then disappear when they start questioning you. It don't work like that. If you want a platform, you have to accept the responsibility that comes with it. And that responsibility includes owning your mistakes. Because everybody makes them, but not everybody handles them the right way. And that's the difference between growth and stagnation. Right now, this was a moment for growth, and it turned into a moment of resistance. But that don't mean it's over. It just means the next move matters more than ever. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe, establish Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.